To be honest, I never heard of this job before. The first time I heard of it was when I was 18 or 19 years old. And I finished high school. And I decided to take a gap year just to travel and enjoy life. But I think the most important is that you are a horse person. So you're like really down to earth. You can ride the Prince George or Grand Prix, but if you're afraid, it's not going to work out. I don't know, I'm always busy. Friends know me as a busy person. So before I did like a full-time study. I graduated on university in business administration and informatica, so ICT. And I had 4 or 5 flights sometimes a month, and a social life, and judging. So it actually was not possible, but because I liked it so much, it worked out. I was 7 years old when I got interested in horses. And my parents hated horses. They had nothing to do with horses. But I just was passionate about it. And then I was 14 and I started working on a stable, mucking out the stables. And then later a teacher was sick, so they just put me in the riding arena and I had to start teaching. And there it all began. But I did a course to become a judge and a riding instructor, so I'm still working with horses on the ground. That was the daughter of the old prime minister in Holland. So I was like, ooh. I like it, just once a month. I really love it. And I really miss the sport. And in this way I can still do something with the equestrian sport. I was 18 or 19 years old and I was never been out of Europe. And I went to New York, and it was surrealistic, you know. I was not there. It was. I was with another lady and a steward. They really helped me out, and I really remember the euphoric feeling when I was landed in New York. And later, a couple of days later, I was like, huh? What happened? Yeah. I don't like New York or Los Angeles because it's too big. And I really like the Middle East and Brazil, and I think the most favorite city, is San Francisco. I compare it sometimes with being a cabin attendant, but instead of people for horses. But people can talk and they can communicate. Horses don't talk. You know, if the horses are in pain, the horses get quiet, or it's really hard to see. And I always say it's better to prevent than to solve things. So also with horses, sometimes people think horses are quiet, so they're relaxed, but that's not always true. Sometimes they just get stressed and then they just, how do you say that? They're more quiet and they are like, and that's dangerous. Because also with colleagues and things, you have to be careful. And stress a horse can get colic from stress. So it's really important to reduce the stress. Well, for example, on a Boeing 747, we're sitting on the upper deck and there's just a door. We can go downstairs to the horses. And then we have to take oxygen masks with us. And then we have to say to the pilots, okay, we're downstairs for 10 minutes. And we will come back in 10 minutes. If we're not coming back, then there's something wrong. So we just go downstairs, open the door. It's before 9/11, the cockpit door was open and flying was way more relaxed. And now it's with passenger planes, it's so strict, you know. But on cargo planes, it's still the same before 9/11. Yes, so the price is per container. So if you fly 3 horses, then the price per horse is cheaper than you fly 2 horses or 1 horse in a container. But sometimes really expensive horses or horses who are claustrophobic, you know, they need more space. And stallions but yeah, you have business in the economy class for horses. The biggest amount of horses was 82. And it really depends because when you fly on the Boeing 747 and there fit 3 horses in a container. There's place for 90 horses. Well, actually 89, because on the last place, we say the T position is close to the tail. There only fit 2 horses because of the weight. But you can also fit place 4 or 5 foals in a container. But with big horses, 89, 90, and on a 777, 75. It really depends. It's the same, you can compare it with flight attendants, you know. If you're a flight attendant for people, you just only do the flight part, you know. What happens on the airport before or after, that is not your job. So when we are landed, sometimes in, like in Dubai, we have to load off the horses by ourselves. And then the people in Dubai do the other work. But in New York, you just go off for the plane, and then you give the horses to the people on the ground, and they just take care of it. I think I'm quite strong. And in Dutch we say, niet lullen maar poetsen, just continue. But I think it's really important to know yourself. So when you're tired, just accept that. Yeah, I was flying back from Los Angeles to Amsterdam, and I was flying on a standby ticket. So that means if there's place, you can fly business class, but there's no place, then you have to wait for another flight. And I was sitting next to a guy in the business class, and I saw his face, and I was talking to him, but I just did not know his name. I just could not place his name. It was George Clooney, but I did not know. And I had a really nice chat, and then the senior purser came by and she asked me, what would you like to drink? So I said, well, I would like to have a white wine. So George asked me, a white wine? And I was like, it's not your business, why, you know? So I said, what else? And he started laughing, and the senior purser was like, oh. And I had no idea. And a few days later, I saw a commercial of Nespresso, and I was like, oops, what did I say? But it was quite funny. But also, met him again? No, never. Maybe he will remind me, but I'm not sure. A lot of people, and it's also Angelina Jolie. She's flying a lot to Namibia, but that was not with horses. But that's sometimes really funny. And friends in Holland, sometimes they don't believe it, you know, because it's such a different world. So I'm also okay, never mind. How was your weekend? Oh, good. Happened something special? So no. People don't believe you when you say you fly horses. People are like, yeah, of course, she's crazy, and okay, bye, you know. So in the beginning, I was ashamed to tell I liked horses, and now when people ask me, okay, but why horses? You know, just study, and what did the horses bring to you? And now I'm like, yeah, the whole world, literally. I've been more now in 85 countries, and it connects people, and it's. I think people think it's really special, so I started writing for a magazine, for an aviation magazine, and now I'm writing every 2 weeks. I'm writing columns and stories for a huge magazine in Holland. So that's quite funny. I grew up in the city, and I have 2 younger sisters and 2 lovely parents, and they're still together. And I am really lucky with my parents. You know, they gave me a lot of love, and they learned me a lot of things, but I was less lucky with my health and with my school. And I got bullied a lot because I was really ugly and I was not happy. And I was really afraid actually of some things to die, and I had a lot of friends in hospital, and they died. So I was always really afraid of losing people, and that's I would have the same destiny. But I was lucky. But then after high school, I decided, okay, you know, I'm not afraid to die, but I'm afraid not to live. So after high school, I said, okay, just do what I like and just go traveling, and see you later. So I missed a lot of things on school because I was not on school most of the time. But I learned other things than school. I learned life lessons. Lessons people would learn when they are 60, 70 or 80, and I learned it already when I was 15. So that is, now I'm really lucky with that. Yeah. I can understand that people are afraid of flying. I was afraid as well, but I really wanted to travel. And it's really important, I think, to know that flying is safer than driving in a car. And because I also fly by myself, I know a little bit how it works, so this really helps. But before I was afraid of needles, by example, so I became a blood donor. So I just want to get I was so afraid, so like I had to practice it a lot, so I became a blood donor. So every time they just got a needle, they put a needle in my arm, and that really helped. And it was the same with flying. I was also afraid, but I just did it. I think for a girl, I have a lot of balls. You can say that. I really like the feeling to be loved and to help people and making fun. I love humor. I love it. And to learn new things, and not only about horses, but the world is so big about history, about foods, about stories. I really love it. My main goals, I want to do a master study, and so I want to finish my master study, and I want to travel more, especially during Corona. That's quite funny because I'm still flying, but I really love to travel, and I really want to develop myself. I think that's what my main goals. Most of the time when people get older, they go through things and they get hard or they get bitter inside. And make sure you learn from things that makes you a better person. So I notice when I get older, I get more soft and easygoing.
Brake with the 6 emergency exits, 2 doors in front, 2 over the wing, 2 in the rear of the aircraft. All exits are clearly marked, overhead with exit signs as well as lighting in the aisleway. In front of you, you'll find a flight safety information card. Please take it out and look over it before.